Close. Operation is locked. What do you mean? Hello? All right, well, I guess we're live. I can't seem to do this in landscape mode, so you just have to put up with the fact there's a lot to see up above. Apologies for that. All right, if there's people here and people want to do the chat, you're welcome to. I just don't know how that's going to work, but we'll see. Just trying out the live thing again. If this works, great. If not, we'll go back to the regularly scheduled normal videos. We'll see how this works out. I'm going to be shaving today with a razor that was very kindly loaned to me by HD Shaves. It is the Karve Shaving Overlander head, but on a Knopf handle. So if you're looking on the site, I don't know that you can buy this exact combination, but first of all, let's talk about the razor in a little bit of detail. It is obviously a three-piece razor. You don't get adjustable plates with this. You get the head, the Overlander head as it is. The Knopf handle has these really cool colored end pieces. I do really like for Karve Shaving the way they've actually matched, giving you these color options, which I think add a bit of pop and some real cool look to the razor. I'll talk about the handle when I actually get into the shave. This is a very light, easy to use aluminum razor, really wonderful shave. And I'll talk about some of the qualities when we get into it. I will be using an old soap I've had for quite a while. It is the Meister Tremonia Dark Limes. This is a vegan soap, a hard soap, which I'll show you in the Captain's Choice loading bowl in just a moment. I picked this up at the 2018 Maggards meetup, and I'd only used it like once or twice since then, but I decided, since I was going to go back to the meetup, which was amazing, by the way, so much fun, to try to use that soap up again a little bit. But I'm making a dent, but I don't think I'm really making much of a dent. There it is in the Captain's Choice soap loading bowl. Just to clarify its function, for me at least. The imprint, which had this really cool kind of eagle on there, that's gone, but I don't know that I'm really making a lot of impression on this hard soap. It's lasting quite a bit. Brush for today is going to be this Steve Bento, this curly maple with this giant badger knot, and I'll talk about that while I'm starting to lather up the soap. Today might be the last use of the Barrister and Mann Fern aftershave. There's just, there might be more than just days in there. We'll see, but it is very, very close to the end of that. So I'm gonna wet my face. I'm gonna start lathering up the soap. We'll talk a bit about the brush and the soap, and then we'll start shaving. Yes, Chris, how goes it? T-Rex from Greece, Vincent, Virgilio, Stoof. All right, and apologies for the way the video is oriented. I did not realize you could not do a live in landscape mode. At least it doesn't look like you can. So this one may be the only one of these that we do like this. May go back to just recording them, but we'll see. I have to figure some of this out. I'm so out of practice. I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. Actually, that's not true. I know exactly what I'm doing. All right, dry soap, which has not been bloomed. I'm shaking out the brush. This is a giant badger knot. I'm just going to be loading it like I would normally. I'm going to load pretty heavy, but not crazy heavy. Shake some of the water out. This knot does hold a lot of water. Soap, you can see kind of foamy a little bit to begin with, but not to worry. I haven't added too much water. It's not going to be kind of crazy thin or filmy. I remember the soap being pretty good, and I've been surprised again and again, really how nice this is. Really easy to lather. Smooth, generally speaking, pretty creamy. But let me just say this about the brush, and this has cemented it for me really kind of once and for all. I mean, Badger looks amazing, but honestly for me, if I have to choose, it's going to be boar and then synthetic and then kind of a distant third on the Badger side. Sorry, people. But that's just what it is for me. I mean, the boar knots just work so much better for me, and the synthetics are just so crazy easy. And frankly, this badger knot, it just doesn't do as well as those other two. Now, I know people love them, the badger knots. Don't get me wrong. All right, that looks pretty good. So, but you can also see this is a big kind of a floppy, loose knot, does not have a lot of backbone. I'm gonna dribble a bit of water onto the face of the brush, get my face wet again. It's about a days and a half worth of gross. Yeah, how boring. I know, that's a good one, Chris. Actually, quite nicely done. Yeah, people, on the synthetic side, it is a very easy brush. I still recommend a bore for starters, but I understand why that's actually a bit complicated because of the break-in. I just feel like bores have sort of a life and a soul to them, that every bore is kind of unique. But it's very hard to argue with the basic functionality of a synthetic brush. It just gets the job done so easily. As you can see, no real issue building a lather at all on that very hard, unbloomed hard soap. I'll dip the tips again a little bit. And we're not completely done, but we're getting there. Still sounds a little bit airy, but starting to get wet enough. And I don't know how long that soap would last me if that's all I used. And part of me says just keep using it until it's gone, but part of me also says, look, you have other stuff to get to. And then I have some good news for those of you that have wanted me to come back and do some more reviews and stuff like that. Well, you, my friends, might be in luck because I've been contacted by a couple people and I have some things either already here or coming that I think you will be interested in seeing. HD Shaves, hello, how goes it? Chris? All right, oh, the Golden Steel TV. Hello, everybody. All right, so I'm lathered up and we're gonna go for the Overlander on the Knopf handle. So I am a huge fan, as you know, of the Christopher Bradley Illumina razor. It's my favorite razor. I shave with the C plate all the time. HD Shaves was kind enough to loan me this razor. I know that he wants it back. It's actually going to go to someone else where it makes it back on its way to him. So first of all, HD Shaves, thank you so much for the very generous loan. I appreciate that. And this will be winging its way to the next person in line very, very shortly. So let's go ahead and get shaving. As I said, it's about a day and a half. This is going to be a bit tough, by the way, because I can sort of see myself here and I can't really see myself there. So if this looks a little awkward, well, so be it. The immediate impression I had shaving with this was twofold. And the first is, this really reminds me of some other razor. And the second was, wow, that feels really good and it feels really familiar. Now, there is a difference between this and the aluminum Christopher Bradley that I'll talk about in a moment, but I first want to tell you what this reminds me of. This really reminds me in some ways of the face feel of the Razor Rock Baby Smooth and the Stealth Slant. And the reason for that is, I think the coating or the anodizing of the head has a very similar feel and glide to it as those two razors. And the second part is the comfort of the razor is really in line with the Christopher Bradley. This to me feels a lot like a C to D base plate. A little bit noisier, but that same sort of effortless combination of comfort and efficiency. This, I think, is a little more efficient than the C, but maybe not quite up to the level of a D. But the face feel and the lack of any kind of distinct or like exaggerated blade feel is just really nicely done on this razor. I like the weight, I like the handle. The handle has this kind of very cool set of rings design, sort of a column with rings around it with some knurling in those rings. It doesn't have the same kind of fillet pattern. I think that, that obviously there's an extremely fine pattern on the Christopher Bradley handle, the aluminum handle. This is a little bit more sort of distinct and exaggerated, extremely easy to hold, not slippery at all. 100% a daily driver. Ian, the blade that I'm using is a Gillette Silver Blue on its 6th or 7th hundredth. I think we're in the 700s now by now on this one. That's just in case Sugar Daddy's here. Yeah, this razor just feels incredibly good to use. And that's the other thing, is that it just has a wonderful, safe face feel to it. There is none of that weird, dangerous blade feel. You don't feel the edge chatter at all. There's just none of that. Incredibly easy to use. And even on the days where I've shaved where I had a bit more growth, like a 2 or 3 plus day worth of growth, really no issue at all. I think this would easily handle quote unquote more aggressive blades, but I'm using the silver blue in there the whole time. No issues, comfortable, really easy, no irritation. Now, I know what you're wondering. Well, are you going to buy one? And here is where I have to take a moment's pause to say, the reason that I borrowed this from HD Shaves is because I'm going to buy one more carved shaving razor. It's either going to be the Overlander or a backup aluminum Christopher Bradley with a C plate and a D solid bar plate. When I don't have the solid bar, I have the open comb for the D plate. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to be a difficult decision, but I think I've made up my mind. And what I'm going to tell you I'm going to do might surprise you, but I'm going to tell you anyway, and damn the consequences. The Overlander is a fantastic razor, and I've really, really enjoyed using it. But there's something about that face feel of the coating that is more on the Baby Smooth and the slant side, the Razor Rock Stealth Slant, that I think actually is not so good for me as the aluminum Christopher Bradley. So although this is a fantastic razor and I would recommend this without hesitation, for me, if I have to pick between getting one of these and another one of those, I think I'm gonna go for another one of those. But that's just me. Because man, is this razor easy to use? It's kind of absurd, actually. Light and maneuverable, so easy. But see, like right there, even that soap is nice and slick. There's a kind of a sensation of drag that is very familiar, and I definitely prefer the face feel of the Christopher Bradley over this. Hope I'm not making anybody cry. And I want to make easy as D89. For Christopher, yes, absolutely. And there is one distinct difference between this and the D89, which I don't think a lot of people talk about, but the D89 head has very sharp corners. And so if you're a new shaver and you're learning how to shave with a D89, the fact is you do see people that are kind of end up like digging that corner into their face a little bit. So that can be a bit uncomfortable. This is 100% a beginner's ready razor. I mean, don't get me wrong. This shaves incredibly easily and really, really well. No issue with daily shaves. And if you don't want to invest in trying to figure out which heads you're going to use, you know, which base plates you're going to try to get and try to adjust them, and you're kind of spending money on more than one, go for this guy. You will not regret it. And by the way, I'll also talk about just a different, what I'm doing for daily shaves. So normally, if I'm shaving during the week, and I don't often feel like I have the energy for a full 3-pass shave, I'm actually alternating between a with the grain pass, and on day one doing a across the grain pass, and the next day doing a with a grain, and then against the grain on day 2, and kind of alternating between those two. And those shaves, particularly with a razor like this, have been absolutely fine. There's nobody out there that's going to see you and go, man, you only did 2 passes today. That's not going to happen. I will also say that this razor does provide more sort of audible feedback, I think, than the Christopher Bradley. If you like a bit of a noisy or raspy sound to your shaves, it's another plus to this one. Wow, so easy. I'm just catching up with the chat a little bit. Oh, there's so many great U.S. artisan soaps. I mean, there's so many. Anyway, I think there's also more coming. Okay, last pass. This will be the infamous against the grain pass. Hopefully I have enough soap in this massive knot to lather up this giant face of mine. Yeah, you know, ironically, the funny thing is, I think I might be enjoying those daily shaves more because I'm not over shaving every day. And by the way, the other thing about this is I can 100% feel that that blade is done. Like I had a sneaking suspicion based on yesterday's shave that it might make it one more. And I have been much more diligent about changing the blade early, in part because I think some of the, if you remember from earlier videos, I would often get sort of irritation on the side of my face. And I think that that was mostly due to the fact I was actually pushing blades beyond where they should go, at least for my skin. I know there's people out there, and we don't even need to say his name. If you say it 3 times, Sugar Daddy will show up. But I could never push a blade that long. I think my skin would 100% tell me, dude, you need to 100% stop doing that immediately. So anyway, here we go. This is going to be against the grain. And you can hear that's a nice bit of rasp. And if you like that raspy sort of bite, I just want to watch that spot. The other thing is for these more mild feeling razors, even though of course they're still shaving off a lot of hair, it is amazing how even something that feels this mild, when it encounters a slight raised area on your face, whoosh, thing is gone. All right. Yeah, this blade is D-O-N-E, done. There's a certain feel to the blade where I just know, don't shave with that one more day. I do have some Menorah blades in the wings that I picked up at the Maggard meetup, which I had originally tried because, again, HD Shaves was kind enough to pass on some of those blades to me. Really nice, actually. Jay Jones, you're not that late, dude. Trust me, there's still plenty to go. I'm doing like a 7 or 8 pass shave, so don't panic. How many soaps in the den? Well, maybe as many as 20, maybe. And a lot of those are hard soaps that will take me ages to go through. But as I said, I was extremely diligent. I have not purchased any new soap at all since I stopped, and that's been quite some time ago. And the only new ones I have are ones that have been recently provided for review or for testing. So, you know, it's been dwindling because I've been trying to use them up. I recently had a question, by the way, on for some channel comments about a person. Yeah, that's true. Chris, you gave me a soap last month? Did you? Is that true? Because I don't remember that. I picked up samples. But for every sample that I picked up at the Maggard meetup, every one of those samples is going in a box to a colleague in the UK who's recently had a baby. Their finances are a little bit tight. He just started wet shaving, and by God, I'm going to swoop in like a hero and drop off this giant load of samples after the Magavita. It's going to be embarrassment of riches, really. Okay, people, that's where you stop right there. If you are a person whose name might be T-Rex online and who is an inveterate overshaver, watch how I do this. I'm putting the razor down and I'm stopping before it's too late. All right, there we go. That shave is, for all practical purposes, that shave is done. Now, ooh, how did that feel? Yeah, that felt fantastic. That just felt so good. Let me just towel off a little bit. Get some of the soap out of my ears where possible. There's always some lurking somewhere. All right, well, man, see, that was so quick and easy. God, what a wonderful, wonderful razor. But again, if I have to pick, I'm gonna go for the aluminum Christopher Bradley, but only because of the way I think that that's sort of the coating feels. But that is still an amazing razor. So I'm going to apply the aftershave, the ever dwindling supply of this bottle of Barrister & Man Fur. It's almost gone. But you know, you say that, and this is a joke that some of you will get. Sometimes these bottles of aftershave are a good reproduction of the miracle of Hanukkah. How does this little tiny bit of aftershave still last another week? It's a miracle. There we go. And yes, I do still rub some on the back of my neck. Did I shave the back of my neck? No. Do I rub aftershave on there? Yes. That's how it is. All right. No, 10 passes, T-Rex is probably 7 or 8 too many. Let's stick with that. All right, let's do a quick recap, and we kind of keep an eye on the chat, and then I will hang up this live if I can even figure out how to do that. And let me know in the comments, by the way, how well this live has worked for you in terms of like the video and the audio. I did not realize it was going to be portrait, so I'll have to figure out if there's even a way to do it landscape. I just don't know. All right, let's talk about the razor on loan from HD Shaves. What a great combination of maneuverability, the head design, the fact that there is basically no way for really lather to clog up in there. It just follows so many of the design principles of the Christopher Bradley, and it's just a wonderful razor. The handle is really easy to use. It's not slip at all. The weight is really quite nice. It fits under the nose really easily. It's easy to hold. It's a great length. It looks cool. The green is really just a great offset against the black. The black and red is a great combination. I think there's a blue as well. Maybe there's a yellow, I think, as well for the Knopf handle options. Beautiful razor. Obviously doesn't come with adjustable base plates, but given where it lies between the kind of a C and a D, at least for me, and the noise that it makes and the face feel and the ease of the shave, a wonderful, wonderful option. And if you're interested in just the single option without worrying about the base plates for an everyday driver, this is just a fantastic option. Just be aware of the fact that, at least for me, that particular coating does feel different on the face. A little less glide maybe than the Christopher Bradley version. That may not be true for everybody. That's sort of my experience of it. Again, thank you HD Shaves for the loan. Wonderful razor. I'm going to miss it when I send it back, but I am going to send it back. So it is not crazy hot here in North Kakalaki. Not yet. But there is apparently quite a bit of Canadian wildfire smoke to our west in places like Charlotte. So we'll see how it goes. What else do we use today? Well, let's not forget our dear friend from Meister Tramonia, the dark limes. Just, a really nice, well-produced vegan soap. This has, well, as far as I can tell, almost no scent left. You really can't smell it. It smells of limes. Although, if I remember correctly, like lime juice is 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the 5th ingredient. So take that for what it's worth. I do like these soaps, and this soap has also lasted really, really well. The Steve Bento, this is the Curly Maple, wonderful handle. And I gotta say, still, I'm seeing some amazing handles from Dogwood Handcrafts and Declaration Grooming and others, and the colors and the portion, all that are amazing. But I'm 100% still in the camp of let's stop doing that middle bead. It sort of separates the brush and it gives you less handle to hold. This is not a common shape that you see for brush handles, but it's incredibly easy to hold and really easy to maneuver, and you get to hold the entire handle without a line in the middle dividing the part that you hold and the part that you don't hold. Anyway, better for me, big hands. Again, too big a badger knot for me. This 100%. Sorry, people, at the sort of the end of the line there. I know I keep saying 100% because I'm doing a lot of math lately. I don't know. What else do we use? Oh, God, let's not forget the last little bit. This last little dribble. I don't know if you can see that, but there's not much in that bottle. And yet, mysteriously, I'll still be using that a week from now. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, 103 degrees here in Austin. Yeah, it's not great. And then I don't know what that will feel like. Jay Johns is probably 103 and probably feels like 115. 25 degrees in Poland. Yeah. Yeah, those heat waves in Europe sometimes have really dramatic impacts on people. I think we saw that, I think for last year, there were thousands of people across Europe that died because of the heat wave. So it's something to really take very, very seriously. Anyway. All right, my friends, I think that's it. I will say goodbye for now. Thank you all once again so much for joining. I really appreciate it. And I hope you enjoyed this live shave. I might end up doing a mix of some lives. Oh, what's on my shirt? Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but this was a combination of T-Rex and the TIE Fighter. And it was done by a guy at one of the, like a local Comic-Con. And I've lost the card and I can't find the guy. I would love to buy an extra one because people always comment on this shirt. Anyway, I think we'll call it at that. I'll take a look at this video after the fact and see how well it sort of came across. I don't know what it looks like sort of the top and the bottom half, or what the audio quality sounds like. If it worked out really well, what I may do is, for future ones, is just record a regular video and upload that, and maybe alternate between a live shave and a recorded shave. But there is definitely some more stuff coming. I don't think it'll be like a weekly thing because I just don't have that much in the queue. But I may also be doing just some sort of let's chat shaves, because I know that people definitely want to have a chance to kind of interact and get people together in the chat. We can just have a a good evening shave and talk through some products maybe that are renewed to you and sort of old favorites out of the stash that I still have. So with that, my friends, I want to wish you all the best. Hope you're all doing really well, and until next time, I will see you all later. Have a fantastic rest of the week, and as we used to say, until next time, goodbye.